guys, welcome to the Fake Deep Radio. On this show, we'll be discussing popular culture, art, music, and design through our unique perspectives as young Nigerians. Let's get it!
Power Rangers are back together.
Yes, sir.
I've been more than effects. Me person produce for me. My juice don't finish.
Why you dey beg for juice in public?
Fuck. I'm on camera.
Guys, let's fucking put this shit in.
Yes.
How far now, guys? We are
What's
back from the Thumbury,
Yes. You know.
Blue Mountain.
Welcome back to a new episode, guys.
Guys, went to the mountain to pray.
Me, I wasn't praying sharp, bro. You know.
Actually, she prayed.
You prayed.
Prayed, man.
You prayed more than all of us here.
Thumbury was actually fantastic.
Yeah, Thumbury was great, man.
That was incredible. It was so nice to leave the city.
Guy, it was a lovely break.
I did tell you. But you know the maddest thing is when I came back, I felt like I hadn't had a break.
Oh, yeah?
I literally felt tired.
It's because when
Are
we
you
came
crazy?
back, we got thrown into work.
But yes, actually true.
That's
Once
why.
you came back, like straight to work, and everything was just intense.
What was supposed to happen when you come back?
No, it was a crazy work.
May I zoom in? Zoom in. Ease me
Make
into
it
it.
snot
I think I said that zoom in.
Thumbury was great, Chad.
yeah,
There was
Thumbury was
no
great,
light
man.
pollution. That was my favorite part.
light
The silence.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No light
The fact that we could just go outside and hear nature, literally.
That balcony by my room where we just sit, it was in the night, total darkness.
Yeah.
Like,
me and Ududu were sitting out there one night and just catching a vibe.
Vibe.
We were just chilling.
We're intoxicated.
I wasn't.
You were high.
yo,
That's fake news, bro.
What is a high?
yo.
No, but yeah, it was quite nice. I mean, it was very nice to like retreat, relax, listen, just focus on the things that matter. Actually,
I can't lie to
Yourself,
you.
Nature.
Now I'm spoiled. I want to do that in every week.
I swear to
I want
God.
to go 1 week in Toronto, 1 week away, 1 week in Toronto, 1 week
Me, I just want to be somewhere by the beach.
down south there, sure.
Like, I don't care
Sugar
where I am.
Beach, Sugar Beach.
Summer don't
Sugar Beach
enter.
no make now.
Sugar Beach, sand, water. What else? What else do you need?
Fire. The three elements.
Fair enough.
Are you Avatar?
If you start to call you Krishna now, you're gonna.
I don't get his hands, bros. Freebie.
I'm
But yeah, man, it's been a great 2 weeks.
And also, man, thank you to everybody for the engagement, the support, and everything.
The love has been overwhelming. Like, the numbers are doing good. The analytics are looking great. Thank you, everyone, for the feedback. We appreciate it. That's why we're here again to record, a brand new episode.
Because of you guys, we are back again.
Oh my
We're
God.
back at it again.
Emotion. Anyways, thank you everybody. Welcome back to the Fake Deep Radio.
Yes, sir.
Today, Nino do whoop up today. I'm so happy.
We've not done it yet, too. That's not an introduction. Let's go again.
Run it back.
Okay.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Fake Deep Radio.
Let's
Today we have Khan, CLB, Wazabanga, and Odudu Bariba.
I own it. What's up?
Guys, yeah.
Do the
Let's
Barry
get
Band
it.
music. Let's get it.
Charlie boy.
Fuck your niggas.
That
Fuck
thing was
all
so
of
trash.
you.
That nickname is legendary. I'm not gonna lie to you, man.
Fuck your niggas.
Odudu Bariba.
Actually.
You guys put eyeshadow.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah, man. You guys bob skin too.
I did tell
Your
you.
papa.
And wait without your chain.
So yeah, today we had a few questions. Maybe I'll start with a question. Today is Sunday. Today is Sunday.
Guys.
What?
Oh, David's shirt.
Oh shit.
Sunday school.
I came prepared.
Oh, it actually says, oh, that damn it.
I beg. Ashish, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah. What's up? Hit me.
When last you go to church?
Come on, Jesus. That's a very interesting question. The last time I was in church was Easter 2019.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm going to heaven
considering that
compared to you guys.
Relax now.
What do you know about me that you're
was in-
comparing yourself to?
Yeah.
Where do you know me from?
Heaven, bro.
To this guy.
Straight.
It is a heaven now
Straight
by
away.
going to church.
Now more than that too.
But to be honest, that's not bad considering that it was COVID.
Yeah, 100%. Because when I was in Niger, usually if I'm in Niger, like it's tradition if you're in the house every Sunday when you wake up in the morning, you go to church.
Yeah?
But because of COVID, like churches were closed and everything was online. Everyone was doing like Zoom, whatever service and stuff. So I ended up not going. But yeah, in Canada, last
that's
time
definitely
was
the reason.
2019. Yeah,
That's definitely the reason why I didn't go.
yeah. Nothing else. Yeah,
Hey, sorry, continue.
exactly.
What
So
about
yeah,
you?
Easter 2019.
What about you,
It
David?
doesn't- Are you talking of online or physical?
And both.
Or both. The two.
See, it depends on what you define as church.
Oh my God.
Because the Bible says, where
that
two or
question is
three
quite
are
straightforward,
gathered
bro.
in his name, he is present. Right?
fine.
Preach.
You know me say that's not church. But
That's a church.
No, actually, well,
Is it?
Yes.
that's not a church, but that is,
That
you know,
is-
God,
just
God is
fellowship.
there.
That's fellowship, not church now.
No.
Church, not just the name. I mean, not the building, the physical space.
Church is not organization, big bros.
I know they do organization. I they do
Fortune
my,
500 company.
my own worship, not community.
Yeah?
So if it's based off of that, if you're talking about the building, the
bros.
organization,
All this lingo.
if you're talking about the organization, I'll say 2018. But
This guy said 2018. Keep going.
but if you're talking about the community,
Yeah.
right? 2019.
2019.
Mad.
I beg, no vex.
It's not even funny. That's not even a
No
joke.
vex. Which community be that?
Community fellowship now.
Which fellowship? Where did
You know you don't go Sabia.
Is it a WhatsApp group?
You don't go know. Don't worry.
where did it happen?
But does that matter?
Na IG group.
Shane, does that matter?
No
It doesn't matter. Exactly. So,
That's so.
yeah, 2019-ish.
Can.
Mine was 2018. It's
So
not
you
even
can't
that.
laugh me.
No, but like
So if
that's
you're in the same boat,
last time
though.
I physically went to the house of God, but I've connected online,
It's a house
and
of
you know
God.
I've connected. My spiritual life has really advanced since that time.
Yeah, same.
Grown a relationship.
Well, I know they go church.
Because going to church is not necessary for salvation. No?
For salvation.
Yes.
Which kind of salvation?
Salvation. No? Why you dey go church?
Me?
Yeah.
No, you answer.
You
When
actually
last did you go to
answered the
church?
question.
When last
You
did
that
go
you're
to
talking.
church?
No, as I go to church.
Yeah.
I mean, I go to church every day.
This guy's about to drop lyrics.
So when I talk
Tell
community
us.
now, you think say I dey talk nonsense?
I communicate to my spirit man every day.
Fair
My
enough.
spirit
That's-
man is on fire.
That's
Yeah.
not, that's
Yeah.
the question. When last you go the
I
organization?
did do
of church?
fellowship with them.
Yeah.
So now yesterday, Abi.
Actually, I never go church. I mean, I went to Nigeria like in 2019.
Yeah.
So that was the last time I was in church. But since I come Canada, I never go church.
Okay, so
I never go church for Canada.
yeah.
You've been here for how many years again?
Fuck.
4 or 5 years?
Daddy,
6?
Daddy, I'm sorry.
Don't worry, your
I'm-
daddy will be alright.
I'm joking. But yeah, I've actually not gone to church since 2017. I've been in Canada for 4 years. No.
What do you think is the biggest reason why?
Well, there are many things involved. But let me just say, okay, first of all, I think the thing about the way we're brought up, right? Let's just start from there. You go to church without knowing why you're really going to church. You could just enter church.
Exactly.
They go. And it's like, I realized that, okay, first of all, let's look at the two main reasons in Nigeria why people have this relationship with God, right? Is either you need something from God or you're going on a walk with God, like to know God, to you know how they do fellowship. I know God. Those are the two things.
To be honest, yeah, fair enough. But I don't.
Right.
The second one is not very evident in Nigeria, anyways. Like the whole walk with God and trying to know.
No,
God.
people do.
A lot of
People
people.
do.
But that's the thing. A lot of people. It's hard for people to go to church for that reason in Nigeria. I feel like it's hard for people to say, okay, I'm going to church because I want to know God more.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they're not really focused on the God aspect of it. They're mostly focused on the religious aspect.
What they can get.
And what they can get out
What
of
they
it,
can
or
get
which
from
of their enemies they can. A lot of times, people go to Nigeria,
Bruh.
people go to church in Nigeria with fear and war in their head. Is
Bruh.
if I don't go, this bad thing will happen to me, and if I go, this bad thing will happen to somebody that wants a bad thing to happen to me.
I know what I realized. When you move out of Nigeria, a lot of your prayer points disappear.
Because they've been solved.
Today,
For
Yeah.
fuck's sake, man, you niggas.
somebody's prayer point is, God, let them pay me my salary. I never received salary for 6 months.
That's
God,
facts.
let my salary come. Why the fuck are you not getting salary?
Fair enough.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
There are some basic shit. Like there are some very, very basic things that should not be prayer points. Now, if you're here, everybody's chilling, there's light, there's internet, they go your job, train, they work. Who is trying to feed you meat in your dream? Like nobody gets
No,
that
but
time.
I won't really say prayer points. Like they evolve because at the end, whatever situation you find yourself in, you still have problems.
No, but of course, like problems are not. We're not talking about problems now. We're talking about we're talking about this whole idea of like going to church from a Nigerian perspective,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And the way we were brought up, like I said. So we're going to church every time. I remember this day when I was in this service. That was actually one of the last spiritual, religious things that happened in my life. I remember being in this service. I was probably like 12 or 11. I look like tears in my eyes that day, man. that service was actually bad. I will never lie. But one thing I realized about church is my favorite part of church is not even message, because I don't trust the man that's up there with his own traumas, his own man or woman, with his own traumas, with his own limited understanding, and he's interpreting this sacred book and giving it to me, right? But the main thing I loved about church was the music. Choir. When all those their gospel
Praise and
songs.
worship.
Choirs are really amazing.
Bro.
Church choirs.
Do you understand? So it's like, but then that service, I mean, the service was mad. The pastor was he was on form that night. Lyrics on lyrics on lyrics. It was mad.
Wait, which one was that?
I was going to Good Tidings that time in EBJ. Anyways, so I remember tears in my eyes. Fuck. But yeah, so after the service, you know when the pastor now does altar call, all of you that are led to drop 100,000.
At 12 years old.
No,
Okay,
me. I
okay,
just
okay.
remember.
All right.
People they go. You understand? So the pastor, I think his name is, I can't remember his name. But anyways, it was just mad that the next, I'll be like a month after, my pastor, because it was a guest pastor that came to the church.
Yeah.
My pastor now told us that this guest pastor, after the service, was asking him how we go share this money. Basically, the money that everybody had like come out to give in the end for
God damn it.
So the guy casted. So me, when I heard it, I was like, So that cruise I was catching.
Nah, lyrics.
All that
Was it actually
shenanigans?
They just carry it.
Shenanigans, bro.
The guy just they use me to do it back. So for me, I mean, like what I'm trying to say is that right from when I was in Nigeria, I started having doubts about the need for church.
Of course.
Right? And I think everybody had that as well. Right? Just because of the way how sketchy
Everything
pastors
is,
are in general. So that was one thing. And I realized that I thought about it and I was like, that feeling I got, whether the pastor was scamming me or not, that feeling was real. Right? Yeah. It was real. The music was real. That's art right there. And it's a different kind. And art is spiritual. Right? Music is spiritual. So what I felt there was legit, but I can get that without the scamming pastor. Do you understand?
But the thing is, it's just that's still marketing though, at the end of the day. Because marketing is meant to feed into your emotions.
Marketing on whose side? The church side?
The pastor side.
Right?
Because think about it this way. Let's just use something as basic as, let's say, the Apple event now. Right? Watch the Apple event. I watch the Apple event, and before I go into watching the Apple event, in my mind is, these niggas are scams. Apple, they are
Prejudice,
scams. And then I watch it, and then in my mind I'm looking at it, I'm like, I want this iPhone 30 Pro because they have connected to something inside me. With the way they have packaged everything, the lyrics, the video, the music, the sound, everything is all marketing.
The performance
of the event. That's exactly what that pastor did. Do you understand? He packaged the lyrics, the music, everything came together to give you that emotion of, this is what I want. And then obviously most of the time adding fear tactics to it as well. Pay your tithe or you'll be useless.
Do this or you go to hell.
Do this one or you go to hellfire.
I know still give offering that day.
That's one thing I know they ever miss. I know they actually ever miss offering.
I know they give offering for shit.
I did give offering.
Fuck that. I will go give my money to one picket.
Offering I usually might change. I'm not gonna lie you. I never for my life. Let me know. This is a bit too much. This is a bit TMI. I'm not gonna lie you.
Drop it now. Tell us.
I've not given offering more than 100 naira.
100 naira. Okay, well you never go church here.
David, 100
even that time when I did UK, I did convert.
David.
I think this whole like church thing is interesting, right?
Of course.
For me, I think my beliefs have evolved over time. Like what you're saying right now is really interesting because it is true, right? They come and perform like their sermon or whatever. And the reason why it connects to a lot of people is not because they are blatantly lying or they are trying to coerce people. There is that obviously, but it's like there's something true in the message that they are trying to get across. I actually believe there is a divine, call it what you want, God, Allah, Buddha, whatever, across cultures. So there's that, it exists. But for me, I think it is about a personal relationship with that divine for yourself. What they do is they know how powerful that is, something that our minds cannot comprehend, we cannot understand. And a lot of them are very charismatic, very eloquent, and they come and they just look different. Like, this guy has connected to this thing more than me. more than everybody. He's on a new level, and they just come and they can use that in sinister ways, right?
Yeah.
One thing I observed is when I was younger, and I used to go to Sunday school, so like they'll drop us at church. My parents go to the big church. I was really young. I was very, very fascinated by the Bible stories. They were so interesting to me because whenever they were teaching the stories, I used to just visualize it. It seemed like a storybook. Do you remember that cartoon?
Yes.
That Bible story thing,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
But whenever I asked questions, it was a problem. Like, whenever I asked the question, just explain to me more, it was a problem.
Yes.
And I never thought about it. It's like, why were they pushing back? It was like, don't ask it. Like, there's no question to be asked. This thing is this thing. And I was like, that's interesting. Yeah. Then you grow up and you start to get more information and realize that those Sunday school teachers, they were teaching the Bible to the limits of their own understanding.
Exactly.
The Bible, my own understanding of it now, I took a course in grad school by this professor. He's called Frank Arbo. He studied mythology and he was explaining like the religious books to us. And the Bible is not a book to be read literally. It's not a story book. Like, if you want to understand the Bible, the first thing to look at is that it's written by multitudes of writers. There are a lot of lost books that are not in the current Bible that we all read.
Yes.
So nobody's asking, where are those books? Why are they not in the Bible that they've packaged for you today? It's across multiples of timelines. And a lot of the stories are archetypal. So an archetypal story is a story that connects to, it's just like layers of stories that can connect to every human being.
And different times.
Different timelines, right?
That's why there are different versions.
And exactly.
Like, I remember when they'll say, okay, the story of Abraham, an interesting one. The story is about sacrifice. Sacrifice is something every human being can connect to. If you sacrifice today, you reap the rewards tomorrow. God told Abraham to kill his son. Blah, blah. You understand? The story of Job. The story of many of those stories. But the pastors will pick and choose. If today the agenda is tight, they'll tell you if you don't pay your tithe, you will die.
And you see,
and you burn in hell.
That's exactly what I was saying. It's like, I know, and that's the thing, like, going back to the question of why have I not been to church since, it's like when you move out of Nigeria, you get access to a lot of information, right? You now have, like, I mean, Nigeria internet is very expensive. Wait, which YouTube video, which Netflix where I will watch, they won't explain anything. You understand? So it's like, when you can now like look at all these things, look at the facts, you realize that these people were teaching you a book, a sacred book that contains eternal truths, and they are explaining to you to get something from you and with their own limited understanding.
Exactly.
Do you understand? Yeah. So it's like you don't need all that. You don't need it. You can just go directly to the source, right?
And that's true, because like I feel like for me as well, that's the same reason why I haven't really gone to church here. Because I mean, there are a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons was what I was looking for when I was going to church. I feel like the good thing, one thing I appreciate for myself was like the later years of my time of going to church. I knew the reason why I was going to church. Obviously, when I was younger, I used to go to church was because
it's just because we go to church,
right? And this thing that Abel said is that's why I reacted a different way when he said that thing, because it's like I grew up Catholic, right? And I don't know if you know about the Catholic Church. It's like you have to do this thing called catechism before you do your first Holy Communion and before you do your confirmation, right? So there's the different stages. So there's the baptism, first Holy Communion, confirmation, and then matrimony and all those things, right? So I was doing catechism before my first Holy Communion. And catechism is basically just like they have this little book where they teach you about the basics of the Catholic faith, right? You know, the Trinity and all those things. So they teach you all about that, right? And I remember like I was in catechism class one day, and then they're teaching us a lot about the Trinity and, you know, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit and all of that. And then I asked our instructor that day, I was like, very basic question. I was like, sir, and I feel like this is a question that every child has asked. It's like, who created God? Like very basic, like very just straight up question. I just asked him, who created God? Like, okay, you're telling me, okay, there's God, there are different versions of this God, but who created, you know, God itself?
Where did he come from?
And then he just looked at me and said, don't ask those kind of questions because you go to hellfire.
Bro,
that's literally what he told me.
Oh my god!
And when he told me that, I was like, I feel like I cannot lie to you. I cannot forget that day, because I think that thing awoken something inside my head, because it was like at that point I was too curious.
Yeah.
So my spiritual journey has always been finding answers. That's how I've always just focused my spiritual journey, right? Because I believe that Christianity is based off of a lot of things. You know, religion is based off of a lot of things. But mine, for me, was like, okay, I'm trying to find a lot of answers to unanswered questions. Because there are lots of unanswered questions, like why are we here? Why do I have 5 fingers? All those kind of things.
Of course.
Right? So back to my point, it's like the reason why I've really gone to church is because when I was in Nigeria, I felt like you said, there are a lot of limitations, right? You know, internet, blah blah blah, work, stress. So I felt like the church was a place where I could go to find these answers, because these pastors or these spiritual leaders they put themselves in a position where they felt like where it felt like they knew more.
Exactly.
Right. So I would go to pick their brain and say, okay, what can you teach me about the reasons why I'm here?
Yeah.
But since I came out of that box, which is Nigeria, right? I've seen.
Exactly.
And I've been able to get a lot of information by myself. First of all, I've been able to connect spiritually by myself. That's why when I tell you about community, things at the community they inside here, you don't understand. But like I've been able to understand a lot more by myself. You understand?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the reason why. Okay, now I feel like whatever information that they were giving me back then, like looking at it and I start to poke holes into some of the sermons that I heard, some of the sermons that stayed with me, some things that he said that I do not agree with. You understand? And I'm like, okay, why can I? Because first of all, everybody is a known fact that spiritual journey is a personal thing. So how would I attach my personal spiritual journey to this man that I don't even believe in what he's saying?
Exactly.
I don't relate to what he's saying. First of all, I don't relate to his struggles. I don't relate to his life, and the stories and the things that he's telling me, I don't believe them.
Of course.
So it's like that's just my reason why I won't say that I'm not going to church because I don't believe in God.
Of course.
No. I very much believe in God. You understand? But my spiritual journey is and has always been a personal and spiritual.
I don't know if, just to follow up on the point of the spiritual leaders, right? I don't know if you guys saw recently, but the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, he has mandated that every spiritual leader across all religions get a degree in theology. You can't just wake up and come and say, God, or me and him were gisting, or he texted me on WhatsApp last night, and now I want to. It's
true.
But isn't that the norm right now?
No,
like, don't pastors actually have to go through theology
in
school?
Port Harcourt, there's a church every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes, just walking in the road, there's church everywhere.
You could just see,
it's the same thing all over
flyer.
When
my enemies must die by fire.
Now,
you go see name of crusade now. My husband find me now.
now.
Do you understand?
Something I found interesting, just to finish that point. When I came here, the first time I went to church here, I just followed like the people I was staying with, the family friends, to their church. I noticed some very important things. When it was a small church, really like a family church, maybe like 50, 75 people. And I was now just asking questions, meeting people. And I realized that the pastor and his family, like his daughter and son were the ones that led choir. His wife was like also a minister. He has a day job. He's actually an engineer. So
that's not his
church
job.
Is not his job. He's just, like he probably has a degree in theology. He's led to do it as another thing he's doing. Once during the service, there was no call for offering. Like, it's not part of the service. If you want to give at the end, at the back, on your way out, it's there in your front. Nobody forces you. It is not a business model. And it was so interesting to me. I was like, And the service was amazing. It was just like going to a conference and meeting like-minded people and just meeting new people.
Exactly.
Beautiful music, good vibes. But like, I remember those services where you'll be looking like Omo and Paul. Bros. Niggas are dropping.
People
big
do this
bags.
to show off, especially in night.
Big bags.
Harvest period in Nigeria, in Catholic church. You go see, they advertise, they get this thing from my church for Nigeria, for Lagos then. It's called Pillars for Christ. You understand? So they have like plastic pillars, like they shape it in the shape of pillars, like
that's not marketing.
To put money inside.
That one be marketing.
And they write figures on it. Right, so they write the figures bold, so you see. So there's 500k. So it starts from 200k. There's 250k, 250k pillar, 500k pillar, 1
is
million,
that necessary?
5 million, 10 million. So yeah, my church basically in Lagos is all these. It's like it's one of the popular churches on the island, right? So that's where all them politicians and stuff is go to. So like I said, there's the 200k pillar, 250k pillar, 500k pillar, 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, and it's written boldly
10 million.
10 million. It's written boldly on the plaque,
so everybody can see.
So everybody can see what's the amount you're carrying.
Pressure.
So you go see maybe wait now. It just did like auction, like bidding. When this harvest starts, they'll just be like, okay. And the way they break down the harvest, right? It's mad. They'll say there are different zones. They'll be like, this today is for people from the northeast. Sokoto, blah 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 blah. Today people from the Middle Belt. They now say, if you are from the Middle Belt, if you went to university in the Middle Belt, if your wife is from the Middle Belt, if your children went to school in the Middle Belt, come out and show support for the Middle Belt. You now come to this one.
Jesus Christ.
Then,
Bro,
as you are coming, do not say, by the way, we have pillars for the church, pillars for Christ. You come out on your way out, any pillar you feel like you want to give to the church, you bring.
So if you go one drop for 500k, you don't get 500k. If you want drop 100k, they go send email.
You go
put them for envelope
now. They go carry your information now after church.
Also, na check.
You are committed to it basically.
Okay,
so after church,
I think it's in a cash.
No.
It sounded like it's cash that they put inside.
Basically, you carry the pillar.
Yeah.
And you because the ushers have the pillars. If you are picking a pillar, you now write your name, so amount.
Jesus.
You now go and you drop the pillar in the offering rolling. But you are walking with the pillar from the back to the front. So everybody see, this guy don't carry everything.
Come
So
on.
as church they start, when the harvest they start, people go carry 500k, 1 million, right? But as you are going in towards the end, you go see people don't start to carry 5 million, 10 million because you go start see Soji carry 500k. I can carry 1 million.
they actually tensioning niggas in
Carry
church.
1 million. Another person go carry 2 million.
God,
You understand?
mercy.
And another harvest. This was the funniest one, right? This was my church. This was my church in ABJ. They do this thing where they break them down by clubs.
What do you mean clubs? Football.
So today, for Man U fans, I'm not with. There's league table. I'm not joking. I swear to Almighty God, I'm not lying.
I don't believe
I'm not lying.
I don't believe
Oh fuck! See, I'll find pictures and I'll send it to
What's the
you.
name of this church?
I know if you cast them.
Why you know if you cast them?
St. Rita's Catholic Church.
Why would you tension you like that?
Basically, they do for, and that's not the church that does it. I know a lot of churches do, and they do it like a league. But because in the harvest, before every harvest,
This is new information.
It's very new information.
Before every harvest, right? They have targets for the amount of money usually, like they want to make from that harvest, and they usually like say, okay, this is for this is for rebuilding the church, this is for building the Reverend Father's house, this is for this is for that. You know, they allocate the money and say, okay, this is our target, this is our budget, right? And so how they do the thing is, okay, it's like a football league now, right? That's just one part of the harvest. Obviously, they have the states and all but the football part of it is like, Arsenal fans, we are going to raise this certain amount of money. So every, like, let's say this harvest is for Arsenal fans. You come out with your money, with your goats, with your eggs, anything that you want to donate to the church, and they tally it. And during the end of the harvest, they now look at the club that has supported the most, and that's how they now get the winners, the first place, second, and third.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, see, this is a
that's
problem.
when I tell you that this whole church thing is all about marketing and branding.
No, okay. See, and I see this. First of all, let's take a deep breath.
Like, this is madness.
That I've never heard
I'm
before.
very surprised that you guys have not seen. Wait,
Never.
none of yours.
I've only seen a video
you
on
don't go to
Twitter.
Catholic churches, right? You guys don't go to Catholic.
I'm not
That's why.
Catholic.
I haven't seen
That's
Catholic
why.
churches did they come.
That's why.
I don't know,
I mean,
see-
Catholic churches are the Catholic Church is an organization on its own. But in
course.
different
Yeah,
countries,
sure.
they have they are branded differently.
Of course.
So in the Nigerian version of the
Nah,
Catholic
funds.
Church, na fund basically.
See, it's actually mad because Nigerians they carry this whole religion thing on top our head, right? And it's obviously giving these men and women a business model because faith is something that you can use to
Of
make
course,
money
no.
because it's a very, very nice and
It's
indestructible
very
business model.
Bro,
Give me money and God will give you something.
It's not me that's doing
Before you
anything.
continue,
Exactly.
you know that religious institutions don't pay taxes, right?
Number two.
Exactly.
So it's like I can sit up now. Maybe
even
I-
Kanye West the run scam.
Exactly.
No, but it's actually mad because, and I had the same experience too. I think a lot of all these little things happen, and I think it's also because I think I checked one time. Nigeria, even though we carry the religion on top of our head, we're not in top 10 most religious countries. Top 10 most religious countries, a lot of them are European, right? Because of the way Christianity is there, and it's like it's just mad how this thing is so inside us, and people are using that thing, that need, that hope, and they are using it to collect money from Nigerians.
Hope.
That hope.
You see that word, hope.
It's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate because this is what happened too in one of the services I was in. The pastor was saying, I think he was doing, first they had done offering, they had done tithes.
Yeah.
Then this one was now special. And I said, first of all, sow a seed, use your phone as a point of contact for your business. And you're going to sow a seed for your business, right? So ushers were going around giving out papers. So you write something about your business, use it with your phone, and then you write the amount that you're going to drop. that you're sowing a seed for your business.
What does your phone have to do with it?
Now, point of contact now. So the sync from God will connect
the phone.
Will connect to the paper, enter the phone, then enter your business. Now, so the blessing will pass through. That's the idea.
Damn it.
Jimmy Neutron. So interesting.
So it was mad because after I did business, because I was in the service, I just they observe everybody the standard. You know, they go first do, like you said, marketing. They go the music, the choir go first do some uplifting music.
Yeah.
Everybody go just be in the spirit. Spirit go tick for church.
You go choke.
Then next thing you know, he now said, okay, sow a seed for your like if you're a man, sow a seed for your wife. If you're a woman, sow a seed for your husband.
Yeah.
After that, so that's 2 seeds. You know, sow 2. After that, he now said, sow a seed for each of your children.
God damn it.
I hope he get 5.
But why go to sweat?
I see. Like, what's up? What's going
Trees
on?
go grow. You go plant seed tired.
You go plant seed tired.
Forest.
Where the guys, and I could see he was like, the spirit is leading. You go speak in tongues. The spirit is leading. You go speak in tongues. And I said, it's telling me, sow a seed for each of your children. Now there the thing hits me and say, what?
God damn it. So if you can't get 7 children now,
Bro!
What are you supposed to do? Why are you
that's now
starting from?
5K.
Bros, I think for me, that was it. I obviously, we've already had a lot of things. Like, obviously, when in my 100 level service in chapel, when I saw Oedipo giving somebody blow, and everybody was like, don't anger the man of God. I'm like, what the fuck?
What's going on here?
What's going on? But there are a lot of all those little things that happen. And then this one, I think that was the tipping point. I was like, nah, man, this church thing, they work for me. And I think it's because of Nigerian churches.
Of course.
Right?
It's actually true.
It's Nigerian churches. It's not the church itself.
Because another thing that I look for when I go to churches, right, is I'm sure I've used this word a lot, but it's the community. I'm not even joking with you, because when I was in the UK, I didn't necessarily go to, because I used to start with the Catholic Church. I started with the Catholic Church. I started going to the Catholic Church. I think it was called St. Andrews or something. It was really nice, everybody was nice. It was wholesome and all. Like, the priest was actually very friendly and all. So I used to have conversations with people there in the church. But I didn't really feel very connected to the church, right?
Yeah.
Once I found this church, my friends used to go to called City of God. Right? Shout out to City of God. That's one of the best churches I've been to in my life, because City of God was more than just a church.
In Lagos?
In UK. It was in
Okay,
Newcastle.
okay.
Like, this wasn't out of the UK. The church is called City of God. City of God was more than just a church. It was a community. First of all, a lot of people that were there were my friends, right?
Yeah.
And the religious leaders in the church, the pastors, the deacons, they brought themselves down to a level where they were more than just leaders. They were mentors.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, you could have one-on-one conversations with them about things that you were going through in university, in your personal life, in your relationship and stuff. Like, they brought themselves to a level where we were like friends.
Yeah.
You understand? And they used to also do this like community outreach thing every Tuesday, where like they invite youth from around the community, black or white or Indian or anybody. They have like food, they have games, table tennis, snooker and stuff, and people just come in, free food, just come, just feel free, talk about your problems, gist, and the leaders are there. So it's like, when you see things like that, it's okay, I know that, okay, in as much as I might not connect too much with the message, I connect a lot with the people.
Of course.
And that's where you can start to feel comfortable enough to discover yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You understand? So look,
different things.
you understand?
But Ashish, like, what about you? I feel
me,
like you've been holding things in your chest.
I don't have this many experiences in church, especially in Nigeria. Like, when I was growing up, my dad, my family, we used to go to church, but it wasn't a thing where they used to push us to go every single week, right?
Yeah.
So that one day, one big thing I want to talk about is when I came to Canada. The first time I went to a church, you say you go to church for the community.
Yeah.
For me, when I go to church, it's the message, right? For me, that's the main thing. That's the main show I'm there for. And it was
surprising.
A big fucking difference when I was here. You talked about being in CU. You talked about all these Nigerian churches where every single thing they talk about, they might be talking about salvation, but at the end of the message, it will somehow lead to you dropping money.
It's a funnel, yeah.
Which was so very weird. Guy, here, do you understand that all they actually talk about is how to make you a better person, how to develop you, as you said, a community, right? I realized that, okay, so when I first came to Canada, I was in this tiny town called Cambridge, right? It was full of just white people. Bro, it was
Cambridge
is a small town, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, completely white people. Then David was not there. I was the only black person in the school. I didn't know what to do, where to go. I went to this church that was down the street. I was literally the only black person there. Yeah. But I actually felt like I was in the right place. Like I didn't feel out of place because the community, as you said, made me feel welcome. And the message was about how to develop yourself.
I feel like there are a lot of Nigerian churches that our pastors that focus on other things apart from the money.
Fair enough.
Like I've seen. I mean, I don't know too much. Like I think there's this pastor. I can't remember his name, but he focuses a lot on like rehabilitating youth that have been affected by drugs.
Wow.
I don't know if you've seen that guy on Instagram.
In Nigeria?
Like, yeah, in Nigeria. Like he has an Instagram page and everything. Like he shows their journey as to when he picks them up from the street, and then basically just gives them some sort of education. People donate and stuff, and they basically just start to show their development and stuff. I can't remember his name.
There are a lot of good ones.
If I find it, I'll put it in the description. But yeah, it's like I'm not going to come here and say that every Nigerian church is useless, every Nigerian pastor is useless. No. I still see that sense of community, that sense of self-betterment in a few of their messages that I've seen here and there.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's just the ones who have the most influence that I have the problem with. Right? I remember like when because those are the most prominent ones and the ones that have the ears of most of the people. Yeah. Right. I was in church, and it was that time in Nigeria when there was a lot of there was a lot of unrest, like what do you call it? Terrorism, local terrorism, like Boko Haram, all that stuff. And I remember I was creeping into Abuja, just like a lot of scares and like things. And I was in a service, and they're praying, just doing the regular prayer. I'm just going along, and the pastor actually says that like we should pray against people who are Muslim. Like his prayer point was basically like, I can't give you the words, but the feelings stay with me. That's why I remember it now. It's about like they should die, like they are bad.
What church was this?
I don't remember, to be honest. But like, I was like, another religion, because they are not your religion, and some people have taken it to the extreme, which are obviously terrorists, which carry the word and twist it around, which a Christian can equally do.
Which Christians do.
What am I even talking about, right? Then it's also like, look at it and look at the hypocrisy, the way they look at African traditional religion. I'm like, they look down on it so much.
It's idol worship, basically.
And I'm like, bro, before you were born, what do you think your ancestors were doing? Do you think Christianity was here? Portuguese people brought it here and go to their country. They are not wearing it on their face cap everywhere. It's not their lifeline. But nobody asks these questions. Nobody talks about these things, because the idea of salvation, faith, church, there's no problem with that. It's just people weaponizing it for very sinister reasons. It's very annoying.
Because, like I said, I've told you guys this before. I personally think that religion is just fully based off of culture. Because I've done some research as to like other religions, right? And I feel like on the basic scale, right, a lot of religions preach the exact same thing, preach the exact same message. Love, patience, sacrifice, and all these things. They have a basic message, but based off of different cultures, religions have interpreted these things into different rule books and different rubrics as to how to show your faith and how to show your love for God, right? That's why I don't all this one that say, okay, because I was having a conversation with one Christian one time, and I was like, oh, do you believe that somebody will go to hellfire because they are Muslim? And they're like, yes, someone will go to hellfire for reason, because the Bible says the only way through me, the only way to delight is through me, and through God and through believing in Christ. And I'm like, sorry, and I was like, do you think that's fair? Because you were born Christian, that's all you know. You understand? And the reason why you are Christian now mostly is because of how you were born. Yeah. Obviously, you are getting answers for yourself, but on the basic scale, it's because of how you were born. And there was someone that was born in Afghanistan, deep in the heart of Afghanistan, that was born as a Muslim. You understand? That's all he knows. You understand? Every self-betterment message he has ever gotten is from the Quran, about love, patience, and everything is all from the Quran. So he believes that is what is the right way. And one Westerner from somewhere will tell him, oh no, you have to believe in Jesus Christ. And this is someone that in himself is a quote-unquote good person, right? And because he doesn't believe in your own way of showing your faith, you believe that person should be condemned and should be born in hellfire for the rest of his life.
It's so unfortunate.
I don't get it.
And it's
I never understand it.
It's like, and that's why I try to tell people, like, the Bible is undisputed in terms of the truth it holds. That one is, of course. But to understand the Bible, you need to read around it.
Of course.
You can't just read the Bible and think you know what's going on. You have to read
It's not a storybook.
It's not a storybook. It's not a literal storybook, because if it's a literal storybook, you ask yourself how chariot of fire as in you come from heaven, pick person, carry and go back. Let's start to ask these questions.
So it's you have to read around it. You have to read what was the context, when was it written,
What's the message
You know,
you're
what
trying
was
to
the
tell?
what was the political situation?
In what
about-
language
in
was
what-
it written?
in
It was
what-
never written in
You
English.
get what was the kind of literature that was going on in that time? Because literature has changed over the years.
Culture.
Right? Do you understand culture? There's so many different things. But anyways,
I feel like it's a lot to condense, unpack.
Yeah,
Like
unpack.
it's a
bro, the one that killed me, and I think I only realized it when I stepped out and I came. I remember one day when I went to Mountain of Fire.
Jesus.
And
MFM.
a scene will never leave my mind. Jesus Christ.
mountain of fire.
It just came back to me now again. There was a man praying for his enemies to die, and he was banging his head on a pillar.
What?
Concrete.
Like Call of
This
Like this.
particular type of
Mado.
this nigga held this column and he was like, die by fire, die by
He
fire.
has probably taken the story of Samson in the Bible to literally. In the feelings.
No, but they do that in Mountain of Fire regularly.
Yeah, no, but
that's a
fire is
normal
thing.
Yeah.
That fire is a normal thing.
And it's now that I sit back and I look at that church, you know, maybe it's night vigil, right?
Yeah.
You see, they don't shut down that Jabi road.
Yeah.
Boys don't
Bros.
fool that Jabi side for night vigil for Mountain of Fire that night. They are praying to kill their enemies. Let's think of this question.
And I feel like guys, can I ask this question? Why is it that pastors they always talk say God know they hear your prayer? Like, why did they say you have to be louder? I'm very confused. Because anytime we get prayer like session for any service or something, I mean, I go to pray. They say I cannot hear you. They say, how do you want Jesus to hear your prayer? I'm like, first of all, mate.
What are you saying?
First of all, mate. Big bros. Come on now. Do you understand? It's like there's some things that people are so used to.
See,
He said that hallelujah is too small for my God.
David. See, I say it's just to finish. It just came to my mind now. Like, you know, after, you know, you done the work, you done the live life, everything done the well. AC they blow you, winter, you know, nice. You don't go beach, you don't travel, go abroad. You now have that image in your head. You just zoom out and look at the perspective of the church. See like 1,500 people screaming for 1 full hour, banging their head on things. Die. Think about that for a second. Just think about that for a second.
It's like with all the things.
Like, what's going on?
Like, think about that for a second. Let's just put that image in our head and be like, what kind of poverty, suffering, what kind of illiteracy, and what
And
what is it?
That's my biggest issue with these churches, because they know and they weaponize the things that
It's
people
the same.
in that country
It's the
are going
same. It's the same tactics the politicians use,
Yes, no.
right? So they're obviously all friends.
Yes.
They know what they're doing.
They are.
These
They
guys are
actually are.
influencers. That's
Yeah.
what they are.
They are actually influencers.
They are influencers. Their own is not just Instagram.
Exactly.
They are very, like I said, they are very,
Their
very
own Akina
charismatic
land.
people.
But you see, the thing is that, and I think also just to be, because yes, we can say it because now we've left and we can look back. But for people inside,
It's
that
us.
is their reality.
But people are still getting aware. People are getting very aware
Slowly.
these days, though.
That's true. Actually.
Because information now is rampant. You understand?
Exactly, it's getting better.
People start to know. You understand? And it's I love to see it. Like I like the fact that people now have started to go to church for different reasons apart from the fact that I was born Christian. You
Exactly.
understand? Or I was born Muslim.
It's getting better now.
It's getting
actually.
better now. But one thing I want us to talk about, because I feel like a lot of people try to shy away from this conversation. I have a very important question. Why does a man of God have to own 5 private jets when people in his church are trekking from Lagos to Ogun State?
Because he's scamming people. That's very
No,
unnecessary.
wait, that's harsh.
No,
That's
it
that's
actually
strong.
is.
But is
because-
it though?
Let me tell you how. Okay, let's use Covenant, the church he owns, right? That church,
Canaan.
when he was building it in
Living
1999 or whatever, he used to call out to members of the church to come and work. Use as in he what was it? You are pledging your basically he put it that if you work there, you're going to get blessings. You're sowing a seed. Yes, that's what
Physical
it is. You're
seed.
sowing a physical seed. People's parents that were like 50, 60 used to come there to carry blocks and mix cement to build that school, right? No, wait. And now that school, the school fees is 1 million naira, right? And there are no concessions for members of your church. Those same people that their parents, who are probably not so rich, struggle to build that school. They can't take their own kids to that school. And you are there with 5 private jets. 5 private jets that you use for yourself, your sons, and your pastors to fly from place to place. I've never heard of him use it for church use or like helping people out.
Yeah.
So what
I have a counter argument.
Before
Tell
you
me.
continue, sorry, I just have one quick question. What's Oyedepo's day job?
In the architect now. Finished third class.
that one I missed. I don't know.
I think that's
No,
true.
but I actually think but anyways.
Let's not give wrong information. But
Yeah, you were saying.
I was saying the counter argument is, and I was asking somebody about this, and they said, it's my money, that's the man of God. If he chooses to buy a private jet, that's his business.
I'm already told me this nonsense.
What's wrong with that? What's the count? That's a counter argument.
As a man of God, you should not
Why
use
shouldn't
your
you?
money to do that kind of thing. You should, I believe, like if you're saying you're trying to help the people, right? And you have that much money that you can buy 5, you can afford to buy 5 private jets. I don't mind you having 1 or 2. But Jesus Christ, what are you using 5 for?
But the problem is now, this is where my own
you
argument
understand?
comes. If it's his money, I buy 5 million private jet. I don't care. But it's not his money. What is Oyedepo's day job? That's why I asked you. Where did that money come from?
It's a church now.
If that money came from the church, then it's not your money. Simple.
Hey, Busy, why do you laugh?
I mean, it's very, very funny to me. Like, my sense of it is that, like, power corrupts. Is like any other things, like being a politician. You know, you see something that has the potential to, you know, like you can see it probably has. For me, because these things, they're agnostic, right? Like, it's not a bad thing to you know, lead people in the right direction, be a guide to people who are astray. Where you see the potential to exploit, then you take it, right? It's like 5 private jets. For me personally, this is my own point of view. I disagree with the church and religion being a business model.
Of course.
Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
It's very
If it's
sad,
a business, they should be paying taxes. But they don't, somehow they just find a very cute loophole to exist in this space. They don't pay taxes. They're just these guys that, you know, are leading the country to salvation. Doesn't make sense to me.
Of course not.
And I don't get it. Like, 5 private jets. I mean, that's how Quavo and the rappers live. So it's a lifestyle.
By the way, Oyedepo actually did. I don't know if that's his day job, but he did finish. He did go to see actually. But anyways,
No, he did go
No,
to
let's
see
say you can say that he's making money from like the university and his school.
No,
and
I
all
don't know
this
what
other
his day
thing,
job
right?
is. I don't know.
But that's not his day job, but he owns those things, so that's fine.
See, in everything in life, you have to make money. You have to have money to make money. You understand? Right now, obviously, he has his businesses. He has his schools, his this and his that, right? But with all those things, there's a certain investment that you need to go into. You can't just get a school from nowhere now.
That one's
You understand?
no.
So why is nobody saying it? Let's know, because it makes no sense to me, and I think it's paining me because I have people personally and close to me that have personal affiliations with church. People that are so seed into this church, you understand? And I'm seeing this, and I'm like, sure, you know
the gauge.
you get.
That's my biggest problem, when nobody's asking questions.
And I don't like kids.
You know, I don't mind you running a church, but if I was running a church, like, I feel like I'll be transparent with the books. Like, I'll just put an Excel sheet. Omo, this is what we are doing. No, we're actually building the church. Every member, even the one that's 2 years old, go to Google Sheets and see this Excel. This is how much came in. This is how much is going out. There's no problem. I don't say don't run a church. Like, there is a space for that, but it's just like the power trip. You understand? What they do with it.
And they use this phrase, oh, you're sowing seed to God. God knows they spend my money. God is not carrying my money with his hand. Let's be honest here. Let's stop this. Let's stop all these stories. Why would you tell me you're sowing a seed to God and you're saying you're buying a private jet for the work of God? What is that? Odudu. We don't know if he's helping people, but we know he has 5 private jets.
No, but he's probably
he's an international pastor now.
He does do
across
stuff.
the world.
He
I'm
does
not
do stuff.
defending him here because I don't know his business.
Exactly.
Me, all I'm saying is I'm not even coming here to bash him.
Of
I'm
course.
just asking questions, and I want transparency. Simple.
I think they should be transparent.
Of course,
100%.
because whether you like to know, these are public funds.
No, of
You
course.
understand? And if these are not public funds, these God's funds.
So yeah, we've talked a lot about like religion, I think in the larger context of like churches and all that, but I think we started off saying like we think this thing is a personal journey, right?
Yeah.
So just we'll go across, do you guys consider yourself religious? And if you do, like, how do you define religion or spirituality for yourself?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we can start. Who wants to start?
Yeah, I can start.
Okay.
I mean, like I was saying earlier. Sorry. Yeah, for me, like the whole concept of religion has been very personal for me, right? And now at this stage of my life, I would not necessarily say that I am religious. I'll say I'm spiritual.
So just before you finish, just to define religion.
Yeah.
Religion means the belief or worship of a superhuman controlling
Divine.
power, divine something. So belief or worship. And then spiritual is just just being
Your
in touch
personal
with the
connection.
spirit and the soul.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I would say, based off that the definition again, I would say that I'm spiritual, right? I'm spiritual and I have a belief. I do believe that there's a higher power, and I try to connect to that higher power on a personal level, because first of all, I'm still trying to answer for myself what exactly the dynamics of that higher power is, right? But on a basic level, I try to focus on love, right? I try to make sure that love leads everything I do in life. Love for myself and love for the people around me on an equal level, right? So I think when I've got to a level in my life where like, okay, I believe in God, and I'm searching, I'm moving, I'm maneuvering my way through the whole thing and trying to understand a bit better. But at the core of my existence is the love for myself and the people around me. That's just how I've decided to, move with it, because nobody knows all the answers. And you cannot go naive and think, okay, you know everything, I'll be cocky and all of that, and say, okay, I know this, I should be doing this, you should not do that, you should not do that. Now, we are all, first of all, we're all born differently. You understand? We all have different journeys and different struggles in life. So we've all seen this thing called religion and faith and watched it from a different angle and with different lenses. So we are all trying to learn from each other at this point and try to find out one truth. We might never find until we die. Only God knows, right? But one thing that is constant is the fact that you have to live your life with love.
Of course.
You understand? So that's how I decided to,
So for you, it's really love. Like that's what's at the center of it.
I would say that I don't say that's my religion, but I'll say that love is the center. It's at the center of my spirituality and my faith.
No.
I love that.
I think that's great. That's a very nice foundation to have, because I mean that's the message that all the music that I try
exactly
is ultimately about love.
And just to continue, like since I started focusing a lot on love, I've learned a lot of things about patience, sacrifice.
Exactly.
Some of all these basic messages. There are a lot of these are things that I've learned from focusing on love.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Ashish.
Okay, so me, religious. I don't think I would consider myself technically a very religious person. Similarly to you, I think. And you see, that's the thing nowadays, right? Which is why I'm always kind of careful when I use this. It's become an in thing for people to say, oh, I'm spiritual, I'm not religious. Like, it feels washed off now. Yeah. But like, I like the way you explain, because that's very true. Like, okay, in the ideal sense of the term religious, a lot of times, how do you gauge, quote unquote, how someone is religious? Is it by the number of times I go to church, or is it by the number of times I pray? That, like, say Muslims pray 6 times a day, right? But does that mean they are not bad people? Does that make them great people, right? Yeah. Or does that make you religious? Like, it's very hard to put a yardstick for these things. But I wouldn't say I'm super religious. I'm not someone, as we answered, that will go to church all the time. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think, yes, I would still call myself a Christian. I still hold on to those Christian beliefs. But I would say I'm more spiritual these days, because spirituality for me, and I think in general, is more about getting to know yourself, right? It's a personal things and individual things between you and your God. Yes. And again, religion for me preaches spirituality. Like religion is trying to promote your spirituality between you and this divine being, right? So yes, I am definitely more spiritual than I would say religious, but I still hold on to religious beliefs.
Fair enough.
And as you said, like love, empathy. Yeah. How about you, Deuce?
Do I go?
Yeah, sure.
Do I go?
For me, I think over the past 3 years, everything has just mixed. It's like soup. It's not.
Afang soup.
Why the afang soup fucking?
Because now you know.
It's not Akpi now.
Akpi, young Akpi. Sorry, continue.
Fuck your niggas. So yeah, everything is kind of mixed. I would say so how do we define religion before? We said belief or worship. The thing is, worship is these words, right? They tend to, people fixate on them and they can lead you in different ways, because so I would say I'm kind of both, but I wouldn't say it is like a Christian thing when it comes to both. I don't know how to describe it, because I feel like no matter who you are, whether you're atheist, you're agnostic, or you're religious, you will pray. Because you won't start business, you won't go Shanghai, start business, you won't enter plane, you don't know waiting to happen for the future, whether the plane go, you go still talk, say, I hope this business works. I hope this. That's
it's a form of manifestation.
That is prayer, exactly. Yeah. And for you to take that risk, you need faith. No matter who you are. Because at the end of the day, we landed on, one day you just open your eyes. Fuck, I'm in this bitch. I'm alive. Where they just push you from roof. Then you fall. You just open your eye. You did it.
Exactly. Why no come as good?
Why no come as warm?
Exactly. Why no be good?
So it's like, ultimately, no matter what, because we don't, nobody really knows what's going on here.
Yeah.
You have to have faith. You have to pray, and you have to believe in something. Right? So, but just to go back to, yes, I would say I'm kind of both, but like David said and she said, it's more about understanding yourself. It's more about love at the basis. But I found some interesting ways to channel that. And I think a key one for me is nature. Right? So there's a feeling you get when you arrive at the top of a mountain and you see the landscape and the view. It's the same feeling you get when you look at the beach and you see the horizon. There's something spiritual on the sky when you're in a place where it's just open expanse of sky. Yeah. So for me, I've realized these days that nature is a good way to tap into that thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know what to call it. I don't know the lingo, but there's something there that's interesting. And also when I'm making art as well, I channel that as well. When I'm listening to good music, you channel that
spiritual.
as well.
Music is spiritual.
All now spiritual.
They are ineffable things.
Exactly. And it's like that's why gospel music is so powerful, and that's why Kanye West, Latif, songs like "Come to Life."
We go get there. Do you
understand?
Like, you guys sponsor this pod, man.
Now why you all wear black? Thunder.
You know the vibes.
There's a feeling. And for me, just to summarize, like it is no more, I don't have the words to attach it to, because like I said, it's all mixed. It has
the soups they cook.
Exactly. It has gotten to a level where I don't label anything again. It's a feeling, and it's that I definitely believe that there is an infinite intelligence that makes me wake up, the sunrise, the moonrise,
absolutely,
in everything.
Exactly.
The fact that my skin is shedding and coming back.
Exactly.
The trees are going winter and time.
Exactly. Seasons.
There's definitely something happening in the background.
Yes.
And I connect with that through nature and through making art.
Exactly.
And then I lead my life with love.
Exactly.
That's for me. That's how it is.
Just to add to that, right, I feel like I fully relate so much with that whole form, that statement of it's a feeling. I can't really put words to it. I cannot like
it's ineffable.
Exactly, it's ineffable. And in terms of worship, right, I feel like worship for me is how exactly you express that feeling that you are feeling.
Exactly. That's why I was like, worship is hard.
Do you understand? Because
it's
how you said, okay, you get that feeling when you're making art. You understand all this? It's like that is how you are expressing yourself.
Exactly.
Don't worry. Yeah. You understand?
Me, you, Brimo, Kanye West.
You know what to happen.
Zoom, zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Anyways, so back to me. Like for me, like since I was young, like I was born Christian, and there's always been something, like I told you guys, like those stories have been very fascinating to me. And when I think back now to it, right, it seems to me like that my 2-year-old, 7-year-old brain in Sunday school saw something so powerful in the stories, like the meanings behind them. I just couldn't articulate it for myself mentally then. So it's like I would still consider myself if we're going to define religion as belief system and like faith, I would still consider myself a Christian, religious. What I guess the distinction to make is I don't believe in organized religion, like the commercialization of it, right? I believe in it like as a personal journey. In my opinion, the Bible is, to me, is one of the greatest works of literature. It's too fascinating. Like you can,
of course,
dig deep into it, layers and layers, and the teachings, the lessons, like. I mean, you can't just describe it. But like a lot of what you guys touched on, like the most powerful things to connect to those stories are the stories of love, the stories of sacrifice, the stories of like, you know, toiling hard for something you believe
hard
in, like
work and all,
sacrificing yourself for other people, and like, you know, love, outreach. Like when you just connect with those particular people that stand out in the Bible, because the stories are so powerful. Because if I just came to you and said, hey, today the topic is sacrifice, and I'm teaching you in an abstract form, it can never connect. But when you use Abraham or when you use Jesus, you see yourself in that person, because he's in human form, right? So in that way, I would still say yes, religion, Christian to be particular, I still consider myself, and spiritual, obviously, the personal journey. Like for me, it's like you sit down one evening and you see a sunset, and it blows you away. Do you understand? You cannot understand how this is happening. Like I'll be watching some documentaries about what is happening, like on the microscopic level that our eyes cannot see. That's where God is, right? The Bible describes it as God, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. He's inside us, like he's everywhere. He's in the sky. He's in the smallest thing. So it's like we're just trying to. You can't find the words,
exactly.
But I don't totally dismiss them. I just think I have a new
outlook
for it, and new understanding for it, and that's why whenever I see, you know, abuse of it, it really hurts me, because like it's so powerful. It's something that can change and save the world. You know,
of course.
Exactly. I think what's very important is to take yourself out of the box. I feel like we're all. Maybe I'm okay. Let me just speak for myself. I feel like I was born in this box, right? And I feel like it's very important. The journey that you're taking through life is to take yourself out of that box, look into the box, understand the box, to be able to come in with a deeper and a more organized understanding as to what that box is. Because I feel like a lot of misconceptions that we have had growing up, you understand that, oh, God is this man that is somewhere, like
he's white, he has beards.
Like these are very basic and mundane understandings that we've had of religion and Christianity and God, and it's like it's not that simple.
It's not.
Understand? The Bible, like you said, is not that simple. It's not that straightforward that if you do this will happen. If you do this will happen. There are good people and there are bad people. That makes no sense to me anyways. I feel like what you should focus on when you're reading stories about figures of the Bible is the humanity of them, in a sense. You understand? It's like,
and really what the story is saying.
Exactly what the story is saying. And I personally think that the Bible is highly metaphorical. You understand? A lot of these stories that if you take them literally don't make any sense.
Exactly.
They are more like parables. They are more like, you know, metaphoric statements and stories where like you have to look deeper into the concept and the poetry of it for you understand what exactly this thing is saying. Because personally, I do not believe that somebody just turned back and turned into salt. Do you understand? But I'm not saying it's a lie. I'm saying there's a deeper understanding as to what that story is. Do you understand?
And I feel like you can't tell me that if you're someone who reads and you read fiction or you even watch films and you like Superman, you like Spider-Man, then you should be, when you're reading the Bible, you should be doing some thought experiments.
Exactly.
It's the same way they carve archetypes, right? Every young boy loves Superman. Why? He's this man that like women love him. He's great. He's a hero. We can all see ourselves in him. He's an archetype of a great man, a savior. Like those stories are not random. Like the Marvel stories, the Disney stories, they are taking lessons from books like the Bible and how it is written to create stories that are universally acceptable and everybody across cultures can connect to. That's what I began to observe about the Bible, that the people that stand out, the way their stories are, they are very unique. Like you can just connect to them. Like, and the timelines are they're not linear. Do you understand? They're just over years. And I think one thing I learned from the course that he was saying is that he was explaining to us how myths are created. that my professor, he's a madman. He was saying he was trying to create a myth. That was his goal in life. I'm like, oh, this guy is mad. But what he was explaining to us that myths, right, the way they are created is that a quick thought experiment is you today, I don't know, you did something or you saw the dinosaurs. That was you were one of the human beings who actually saw the dinosaurs. Imagine seeing the dinosaurs for the first time. How would you describe it? You will be mind blown. So maybe you draw it or you write a book. You die. 100 years later, somebody finds it. That's knowledge, right? But they have to interpret the knowledge.
Of course.
So something is going to change. It happens. It keeps happening over time till you create a myth of something. But there's evidence for it. The skeletons are somewhere in a museum somewhere, but nobody alive today saw dinosaurs. But we can collectively, like with our collective world cyborg brain, extract the essence of the story to understand it. And that's what like a story of Jesus or Abraham is. It's the essence of sacrifice, the essence of love. So,
but yeah, I feel like this episode has been completely fantastic. I've learned a lot from the conversation.
100%.
Like, this was very, very interesting, and I feel like somehow. I mean, if you guys want more of it, let us know.
Let us know, man.
But yeah, this was a fantastic episode and a perfect part where we can actually
segue into the music.
The music.
I still feel I've been a kid, man.
Thank you everybody for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please tell your friends about it, share it, and follow us on all socials at @TFDRadio_. You can find more information in the podcast description. Also, please do not forget to check out the Fake Deep Radio playlist on Spotify made specially for you. Have a great week.
I still feel I've been what?